Hello and welcome to pmplounge.com. This is Lounge Fever, wherein we tackle your burning questions. The question for today: can't you run the project without the project charter? Now, we have covered project charter in depth. I'll link to the playlist in the description, so do go over it. What is a project charter? What are the elements of the project charter? Some of the basics that you must know about the project charter. Everything we have covered in depth, so I'll link to the playlist in the description. Do go over it and understand what Project Charter really is. Now comes the question. Can't you run the project without the project charter? And this is a question that we keep getting here. We have got it actually a couple of times. In real life projects, some of the project managers face this issue wherein they say, hey, my project doesn't have a project charter and I'm running it. What's the big deal with having a project charter? Well, all projects should have a project charter. It is quite possible that the project manager in some of the projects are not aware of the project charter because it's kept at a it's kept with the higher management themselves. But let's cut to chase. Let's try to understand if you can run the project without a project charter. So, can you? Well, let's let's get to the basics. Project charter is actually the most must-have artifact on every project. All projects must have a project charter. In fact, writing a project charter is the very first thing that should happen on every project. So it's a most must-have artifact. It's the first thing that happens on every project. Now, project charter sanctions the project. So it is what starts the project. It is what gives the green signal to the project to proceed, green signal to the project to begin with. And it also helps you avoid a situation where you are told that you don't have the authority. By you, we mean the project manager. So if as a project manager you are told by someone from the project team or someone from outside the project team that you do not have the authority, that is where project charter comes in handy, because project charter authorizes the project manager to do the project work. It is mentioned clearly in the project charter, the name of the project manager or the department from which the project manager belongs. And it is also mentioned in some of the project charters the kind of authority that the project manager will have on the project, the kind of authority that the project manager can exercise on that project, and the kind of authority the project manager can have to do the project work. All of that is mentioned in the project charter. And that is why when somebody tells you that you do not have the authority, you can show them the project charter. The next thing is the project charter also authorizes the project manager to assign work to the resources. Now imagine this, you're handling a project and your coder, you give an action item to the coder to complete the code by, let's say, 2 weeks from now, and he tells you he's not going to do it because that's not something you should be assigning it to him. And that's where project charter comes in handy. That's where you can show him the project charter and tell him that you are the project manager and you have the authority to assign work to the resources. So in cases where the projects do not have a project charter, there is a possibility that someone from some team might come up and tell you that they won't be doing certain things because they have more important things to take care of, or they feel that you are not you do not have the authority to assign them work. So the answer to all of that is the project charter. And lastly, it also authorizes the project manager to spend the money. Remember, we mentioned this earlier, project charter sanctions the project. So in the project charter, at a high level, it is mentioned what would be the cost of the project. Once the project is sanctioned, the project manager has the authority to spend money which is dedicated to the project. So those are some of the items that project manager gets the authority on when the project charter is signed off. So a project charter is an absolute must, and I cannot imagine how any project manager can run the project if he doesn't have the authority of the last 3 points that we just discussed: to do the project work, to assign the work to the resources, and to be able to spend the project money. So that's that. That's all that we had with this video. This is Lounge Fever. You can always comment your question and we'll definitely respond to it. If possible, we will also make a video on it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and check us out on our social media, facebook.com/pmplounge and twitter.com/pmplounge. As always, check out the website pmplounge.com, your number one free resource for PMP and project management industry news out there. Thank you.